Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Angelique and today's video is just going to be about how I do my foundation on a daily basis. Without further ado, let's get into this tutorial. Okay, so first things first, I usually just put any kind of chapstick on my lips. I always have dry lips. I don't know why, so I always have to keep them hydrated. The first thing that you want to do is the most important step. You are going to prep the skin. Me personally, I have dry to normal skin. So if you're dry like me, then I would definitely find some kind of moisturizer and put that on first. And so I'm just using the Men's Essential Gold Bond Everyday Moisturizer. I know it's for men, but I have not found any kind of moisturizer that keeps my face really hydrated. This one keeps my face hydrated for about 24 hours. So that's why I really like this. Now for the next step, I'm going in with another hydrating primer from e.l.f. Cosmetics. I'm going to be putting that all over my face as well because some days I'm more dry than other days. So on days like this where my skin is very dry, I will go ahead and put a moisturizer, and on top of the moisturizer, I will put a primer that is very hydrating. Okay, so next I'm going to go ahead and hide my pores. The NYX Cosmetic Pore Filler, and putting that in the T-zone of my face, basically where my pores like to show. If you really want to hide your pores, I would really recommend that you prime going down because your pores are coming up, and so whenever you prime going down, you are basically creating a barrier to hide them. Okay, so next, as always, I'm going to conceal those dark circles with my NYX dark circle concealer. I love this so much, as you guys already know. I'm always using it in my videos. It's a color corrector for your dark circles, and I absolutely love it. Okay, so next I'm going to go ahead and color correct because I have some redness around my nose and on my chin. So with my Wet n Wild correcting palette, I'm going to be taking a concealer brush, and with that green color, I'm going to put that around my nose and my chin because I always get red around there for some reason. And then with the yellow color, I'm taking that under my eyes to give my under eyes a little more coverage, and then just blending that out with a wet beauty blender. Okay, so for foundation, I use my Holy Grail foundation. It is the MILANI Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 in the shade O2 Natural, and I'm putting that on the outer part of my face. I do this because I want the outer part of my face to be just a little darker than the inner part of my face, like the middle of my face, because here in a minute I'm going to go in with a lighter shade of foundation. And what that's going to do is that's just going to make the inner part of my face just a little bit more lighter than the out part of my face, because when I go in with bronzer, I don't want my face to look too dark. And for that second foundation, I'm using the Maybelline Matte and Poreless foundation. And so this is a poreless foundation. That's another reason why I put that in my T-zone area and on my forehead. And on top of that, I also prime my eyelids just to make it a little bit more easier for whenever I go in with eyeshadow. Okay, so now for concealer, I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. And this concealer is not the color that I wanted, but it was the only one that they had, so I just took it because I was desperate for this concealer. I love it. And so what I basically do is I make an upside down triangle going from the kind of inner corner of my eye, going straight down and up towards my temples. And I do the same thing with the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. and that concealer is actually lighter, just like I wanted it to be. And then I get my wet beauty blender and I just go ahead and blend everything out. And once again, I'm also taking that concealer on my eyelids. I actually do not use any primer for my eyelids. I just use a foundation or concealer. It's just a little bit easier for me. Okay, and so with the Kat Von D Shade in Light palette, I'm going to take that lightest shade. I'm not exactly too sure what it's called, what the name is, and I'm also taking a Morphe brush, and I will link everything down below if you want to know exactly what I'm using. So this is a very important part. Before setting your face with powder, you want to make sure that you do not have any creases under your eyes, because if you do have creases and you put that powder on it and you're setting your face already, then what you're going to be doing is you're going to be setting those creases. So with that being said, make sure that you just kind of dab under your eye and just kind of pat it all out and make sure that there's no creases whatsoever, because you do not want to have any creases underneath your eyes. Okay, so now I'm going to be finishing the face with powder. I'm going to be taking the AIRSPUN translucent powder, and I'm just going to be putting that all over my face. And as you can tell, this is a very powdery, very powdery powder. And so I'm just going to dab that everywhere that I want to set my face. Okay, so now what I'm doing right here is I'm just getting my wet beauty blender and a little bit more of that AIRSPUN loose face powder, and I'm going to be baking my face. When people use the term baking, what they mean by that is you're basically setting that part of the face, and that's just gonna make sure that everything is locked in and it does not move. And so I always have to bake my under eye area, my chin, my forehead, and on the sides of my nose. Okay, so next I'm going to be taking Pure Cosmetics bronzer, and I'm actually going to be taking this new Morphe brush that I got in the mail. It's a contouring brush. I'm going to use it for a few days and see how I like it. I know it's part of their new collection that they just came out with. Like I said, I will leave it linked at the bottom below and let you know how I like it in my next videos. And next I'm just going to contour my nose. I'm very insecure about my nose. It's just something that I've always been very insecure about. So when I found out that contouring your nose makes it look a little bit smaller, I was like, I need to do this. Going straight down by where my eyebrow is and going straight down and kind of curving it in the middle of my nose. And what that's going to do is that's going to make my nose just a little bit more slimmer than what it really is. And then whenever I'm done with that, I'm just going to be brushing it all out so there's no harsh lines. And once I'm done with that, I'm also going to be baking my contour just to make it more sharp, because I honestly do not like when my bronzer is all over the place. I always like my bronzer to be very sharp and not looking like it's going all the way down the side of my face onto my neck. So that's why I go ahead and bake to get that very sharp line. You can see it really does make a difference when you do bake for that sharp line. So yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this little mini tutorial on how I do my foundation and how I hide my dark circles. I actually did a eye look on top of this, and I will leave that linked at the bottom below. Don't forget to leave me comments at the bottom. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out and give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.